Today I'm travelling north into another country to fill a little empty space on my route map, Scotland. Dumfries and Galloway, that's where my next adventure will take place. 380 miles of adventure awaits me, and what happens next? Well, only time will tell. I'm starting at the border between England and Scotland at Gretna Green. The River Sark marks this historic border. This is the first village in Scotland most famous for weddings. After the 1754 Marriage Act, couples under 21 couldn't marry in England or Wales without their parents' consent. But it was still legal in Scotland, so couples began crossing the border into Scotland to tie the knot.
Scotland. I thought I'd better get one Scotland trip before the winter kicks in. So a nice 380-mile loop that I've put together all around Galloway. Should be fun, and we might have the first, I won't say bad weather, but testing weather for sure. But it has been a long journey to get to the start in Gretna at the border. So it's already 5 PM, so it's not going to be a big day right now. It's just going to be getting into the route, finding somewhere nice to camp, because has anyone else noticed that sun gets lower in the sky much earlier right now? Winter's on its way.
After a long journey up to Scotland this evening, I would just find myself settling into the ride, warming up them legs. It felt like only yesterday that I was coming through these parts on my BMX. With the days getting shorter though, I had a plan to get up to the top of the first set of hills on this route. After sitting on a train for 8 hours, it's certainly one way of getting some life back into them legs.
Right, my plan I think is going to work, because my bike is down there. I reckon I can camp somewhere around here. I am heading over that way, and there are some trees there, but it doesn't look like the type of woods that I want to camp in. Not sure if it's going to rain tonight. It probably will, so I'm hoping I can just find somewhere like down here, up here somewhere. But let's go and rescue my bike. I can be bothered to lug it all the way up here, so the bike doesn't get the view. Only I do. I don't want to go too much further because I'll end up in Dumfries, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather go through there tomorrow morning, have breakfast there, and then into the countryside. But for now, I reckon somewhere around here should be fine. So I think it's possible down there's some trees, there's a little stream or river, and that's where I'm going. I could possibly camp there, and it looks quite a good little spot because I could get some water and stuff, but I won't have a good view. Possibly at the top of this bit of the hill I can have this as a view. Do I want water or do I want a view? Who knows? Let's see how good the ground is up here, because I think it looks pretty good. And as you can see, there's kind of a lip here, so if I can be in the middle, if the wind is coming from here, it should be quite good. And shouted. However, if the wind's coming from there or there, it'll be like a tunnel, but the wind is coming from there, so at least at the moment. See, this ground is quite good, fairly flat. Oh, I don't know, who knows.
Wow, good morning, and wow, as you can see, I am waking up in a cloud. It has been raining pretty much all night. It's not very heavy rain, it's just sort of misty rain and stuff, but yeah, it looks like today the views might not be there, and it might just be a very wet one. It's about 6 AM, sun is rising now, so I'm gonna get packed up and head out into it. I've got about 10 miles until I get to Dumfries, where I'll probably grab a bit of breakfast before really starting to get into this route. But yeah, looks like today and tomorrow might be a bit like this at least. Oh well, let's go have some fun in the wet weather.
Packing up the wet tent this morning marked my first real day on the trails. The trails consisted mostly of wet, grassy fields, surrounded by thick fog. It was a slow-going morning, with a few of the trails making me get off and push my way through them. These thick, overgrown, grassy trails would only lead me to encounter my first obstacle on this adventure.
So many fallen trees. Wow, no. I think it might not be possible to get through there. A lot of fallen trees. What's going on at the moment? So many fallen trees. It's not been windy, has it? Thing is, the trail goes like through here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get through. Not without a bike, not with the bike. Maybe I can scramble around here. Ooh. Let's have a look. Don't look fun. Not the greatest start to this ride, but I don't know what it is at the moment. So many fallen trees. There's this trail here. It goes through the woods, so hopefully it goes to somewhere that I need to go.
Luckily for me, I was able to find my way around. I think them trees had actually been down a while. The diversion I took seemed to be taken by many. So now I was back on my way through the thick fog, but at least on some nice gravel tracks, for now, and on my way for a flying visit to Dumfries.
Well, I have slowly but surely made it to Dumfries, and it's time for breakfast. Got some pasta. It's looking like on this trip I'm gonna have one dry day, possibly. Today is gonna rain the whole day. Around 8-9 o'clock it might stop. It might not rain throughout the night, which is nice, but it means all day I am going to be getting very, very wet. I'm going to be heading down to the coast. I guess it's an estuary really, isn't it? Soon, but first I'm going to eat this. I've only done like 10 miles this morning. 12 miles. It's taken absolutely ages. 12 miles in 2.5 hours.
It had taken ages this morning to make any progress, so I was keen to get going again. By the time I got back on the trails, that misty rain was now no longer that. I was well and truly embracing the wet life. Pedalling my way up and down the forest tracks, still steeped in thick fog. On a clear day I'd be able to see the Lake District, over Nith Estuary. Today, however, just thick fog and of course, rain, rain, rain.
Still raining, of course, but I'm making good progress just through the endless forest tracks, up and down. The rain's not too bad really, because it's still kind of warm, but I've done about 30 miles so far today, so very happy so far. It's coming up to midday. The problem is when it rains, it's really hard to get the motivation to actually stop, because there's very little places to sort of sit and enjoy the views, especially today because there aren't any. But I should be coming down sort of towards where like the estuary, the coastline is soon, and we'll see. Normally you'd get a good view of the Lake District, but I have a feeling probably won't be able to see that today. Kind of annoying issue. I need to go that way and it says road closed. this guy just stopped. I think he was a vicar. He lives locally, so I asked him if I can get through, and he says he's not sure because the road is all subsided, and they're fixing it now apparently. So he did say you could always go and see, but I'm not sure. The problem is if I do take the detour, it's quite long and it's kind of like out of the way, and if I'll kind of miss a lot of the off-road section that I've plotted. So I don't know if to just sort of test it, go down there, see if I can get through, possibly just walk where they're fixing if they'll let me. If not, I might just have to come back and miss that bit. But it's a bit annoying because this bit's like quite nice and it's going to be into some more forests and some mountain bike trails and stuff, so a bit of a pain. But I don't really want to take the detour, because if I take the detour, go all the way around and back, then I'm just sort of pointlessly coming back. So I think I'm going to test my luck and just follow through where it says road closed, and hopefully either they'll let me through or they're finished working. There's a few cars that have gone back and forth, but they probably just live between here and where they're working, so I don't know. But still raining.
Will they be around here? As with like 99% of road closed signs, you can get past on a bike. And luckily I could get past on a bike. They're all just chilling out, drinking tea, and that was it. It was basically yeah, straight through, easy.
With another obstacle passed, I would head into Dalbeattie Forest, where it would be more detours to avoid the forestry work going on at the time. This stuff only ever happens when it's non-stop rain, I'm sure. And that rain was getting increasingly heavier.
I've just come through the Beatty, and it is really coming down now. The vicar guy that I was talking to earlier was saying that this is like the first rain they've had pretty much in like 2 months. Like July and August there was basically no rain, and this is like the first rain they've had, and certainly making up for it. Most of the morning it wasn't too bad. It was mostly just sort of a light shower, constant but light. Now it's quite relentless. Just doing a bit of hiker bike because it's kind of a bit sheltered here with the trees. Had to make a few little detours through the forest because they were doing forest works. Oh my god, this rain, I hope it stops at some point. I mean, things to remember while cycling in the rain. It's only so wet you can get. It's got to stop at some point, right? Right?
Not again. What is it with all the down trees lately? Another lot. Hopefully I can get through. Ah, oh, come on. Oh, so many. Ah. I don't think I can get through down there. Of all the days that
there's trees down, it's when it will not stop raining. I'm quite tempted to just try and get up here and then possibly just hike along there. I don't know if that's an actual trail. Maybe I'll go check it out first before lugging the bike up there, and then hopefully I can get around. If I leave you bike here, and then hopefully you stay and we hike. I have no idea if it's going to be like a trail or what up here. It might just be bog, but it might save me having to find a completely another way. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be possible. Just nah, don't think so. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right, back to the drawing board again. This way's looking a bit promising. I was over there in them trees. It's kind of going in the right direction, hopefully. And it's a bit annoying because I was very close to the top of that hill and I've got to push up it again.
With the trees seemingly giving me all the trouble today, once I'd found my way back to a forest track, I started to head out of the forest and down towards the coastline. And as I did this, something I didn't expect happened. That endless rain finally started to stop, and perfect timing it was, as I could now start to dry out and pedal my way towards the coastline. Finally, I'd be able to see further than a few meters in front of me and enjoy the beautiful, rugged Scottish coastline views.
Time to dry. It's finally stopped raining, although over there doesn't look too promising, and that is the direction I am going in. So if it feels like it's going to start raining, I'm not going any further until that rain cloud is gone, because I am finally starting to be a bit drier. Oh my god, I can actually feel the rain. Nope, we'll just wait here until it goes.
I took shelter for a little while under some trees as I watched the heavy showers come and go for the next 30 minutes or so. If I could stay dry before camp, that's exactly what I was going to do. And getting back on my bike, with not much daylight left, I cycled into the sunset in search for my bed for tonight. The days come to an end just so much faster this time of year.
wow, I've made it. Somehow survived the day, and I've managed to find a nice spot to camp. Just kind of letting the wind dry it out. Sun is just setting over there. That was a one of them days where it's character building, should we say. But I'm amazed actually that I'm finishing today and I'm pretty much dry. So happy that it stopped raining a little bit earlier than I had thought it was going to. The weather forecast said it wasn't going to stop till like 7. It actually stopped about 3:30, 4. So that was good. So I managed to dry out. Tent is drying out, and I've got about 295-ish miles to go. So good first day, first proper day anyway, and I'm ready to sleep. I think tomorrow might be another wettish one, hopefully not as bad as today, but then the day after, if it's still the same, is meant to be the day where it's not too wet. So I'm hoping at least one day I can have where it's dry, but we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, in the distance back there, there's some clouds come in. Hopefully they're not rain clouds, but they probably will be. If anything, like last night, I'll get into this tent and it will start raining straight away. But as always, I'll see you bright and early in the morning for day 2. It's really nice out here. It's kind of like magical. All the low fog. Not really fog, is it? Oh, it's really nice. I slept really well last night. I pretty much got into the tent and just slept all night. It rained for about 10 seconds. That was about it. It was definitely, I can definitely say though, the temperature has turned. It's a little bit chilly this morning, a little bit fresh getting out of that tent, but it is really beautiful around here. And as far as I can tell, at least above me right now, look how clear that sky is. I mean, I am surrounded by clouds over there and clouds over there, but in this little bubble where I am right now, I'm going to enjoy it because it's blue skies. The stars are out last night. I've probably got like 10 miles or so until I get to a shop. So it's like going to be a perfect morning, right? Right? Hopefully no fallen trees or anything. But yeah, it's day 2. Let's go and see what today has in store for us.
Waking up this morning, low mists surrounding my tent in my own little bubble of peace and tranquility. While I didn't have to contend with any fallen trees this morning, I did have to deal with an army of cows. With the morning sun feeling great, I arrived at Kirkcudbright just as the sun was rising over the small town sitting on the River Dee. It's just 6 miles from the Irish Sea, known as an artist town because visitors come to draw and paint the charming harbour and quaint buildings. It was a perfect spot to sit and enjoy breakfast. I soaked up the warmth of the sun, especially welcome as the mornings were starting to feel a bit colder this time of year. After breakfast, I would follow along the River Dee back inland. After some time, the flatter miles would start to turn into some lumpy miles, with a little hiker bike here and there, but the difference a day makes. It might have been getting steeper and more tiring, but the views were wide open today, miles upon miles of wide open, rugged Scottish landscape to enjoy.
It is so much nicer, so much more calming when you can just ride in this perfect temperature. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's a nice gentle breeze. It's not pissing down with rain. It's just a much more manageable and enjoyable experience. I don't mind the rain, really, but it's a bit annoying when you have to like camp and stuff. But nearly at the top of this climb, and then there's a few more climbs to get to a place I think it's called Cree Town, Cree something. I'll probably stop there and have some food and stuff, but so far today, lush, no fallen trees, just some nice long climbs.
My journey through Galloway was really starting to open up now, the landscape becoming vast and beautiful as I made my way through this stunning part of Scotland, with rolling hills stretching endlessly in every direction. Just over 100 miles into my adventure, and ahead of me stood the impressive Big Water of Fleet Viaduct. Built back in 1861 as part of the old Portpatrick Railway, the Big Water of Fleet Viaduct is a large, disused single-track viaduct constructed of granite. At just over 900 feet long, 69 feet tall, with 20 arches, it's impressive rolling up to it. Closed in 1965, now it just sits there in the middle of nowhere. It is an incredible piece of engineering, surrounded by nothing but wild Scottish countryside.
Oh, what a day so far today. I tell you what, I have done nearly 40 miles, 38 miles, and every single one of them miles it's just been absolutely pure joy. It is that time of the day where it's time for lunch, and I found it, the macaroni pie. And it's also that time to start drying the tent, because it would be nice to have a dry tent to get into tonight. The macaroni pie. It's the first one I've seen in Scotland so far. So good.
Making use of the sun to dry the tent and the classic macaroni pie for energy today, when I got back on my bike, I would need that energy just to get up the hill onto the cycle path that looks over the River Cree, before heading into Galloway Forest Park. Galloway Forest Park, full of endless gravel tracks, mountain bike trails, and apparently the one and only rain cloud in the area.
Raining. Just going to shelter here. It's only going to last for about an hour, so an hour at most. So it should be passing. It should just be a quick downpour, and then we'll be back to the most perfect day, won't we? I can't be bothered to ride in it, even though it is only an hour. Stay as dry as possible, and I've got a nice little spot to enjoy the river. Not again! Oh, I think the problem is I'm riding into this rain cloud. It's so annoying. I keep sort of outrunning it and then it catches me up again. I just want to be dry for a whole day. It is really chucking it down though. What is this shenanigans? Big spiky thing. No idea.
Between the showers, riding through Galloway Forest was a little magical today. The intimidating looking clouds lingering in the sky, but the sun kept sneaking its way through. Every turn around the forest tracks would reveal a new view, a new experience to add to this adventure. From testing long climbs that had me working hard, to sweeping long descents where I could just let go and fly. Then there were these epic exposed views over lochs stretching out into the distance. Of course, the moment I'd get comfortable, I'd be jumping under the tree cover to hide from the next shower. It's funny how putting my jacket on was the key to making the sun shine.
Wow, what a day, what a day. It's currently 7 PM, so I've really got to start looking to find somewhere to camp, because sunset's actually at 8 PM. So early. Got used to it being like 10. I've done about 66 miles, probably going to end up hitting the 70 mark. The sun is back out again, happy days. And actually there's barely a cloud, at least in the direction I'm going. I really do need to crack on and find somewhere to camp now. Everywhere is soaking wet. It's been a good day though. It is definitely slowed down the last 20 or so miles, partly because I keep hiding from the rain, partly because it's hilly. Beautiful, but hilly. Alright, see you at camp.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's not currently raining, which is good. It did absolutely hammer it down in the night. Looking fairly nice, and a little bit chilly. Had to ride into the night a little bit last night because it just could not find anywhere to camp. Got this little spot here. It's not the greatest spot, it's a bit lumpy. Sometimes you think like Scotland should be like the easiest place to camp, especially wild camping, because you know you're allowed to do it, so it should afford you more opportunities to wild camp. But a lot of the ground and stuff is not always ideal. The woods are always pretty much forestry woods, so you can't really camp in them. But I ended up doing about 80 miles last night, so that's good. I've got about 20 miles until I get to like the coast, and then a little bit of riding along the coast, and then I'm going to be sort of turning back in. Now when I made this route, don't ask me why, but I progressively made it to get harder and harder as the route goes on. So
although today should be mostly kind of similar difficulty as like the last 2 days, it's going to start ramping up. I'm going to put the elevation profile on screen because it's like to go up to the highest point is like 4 little climbs and then 1 massive climb. Now that massive climb is probably in about 100 miles. So I don't think I'm going to quite get there today, but I want to get as close as possible. Hopefully, fingers crossed, toes crossed, tomorrow I'll be able to go over it, and hopefully it won't be like raining and stuff. Last time I checked, it wasn't raining tomorrow. Today and tomorrow were meant to be just sort of a bit overcast and cloudy. So if I can get most of the really hard stuff, or at least the hardest part, done tomorrow, then fingers crossed it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm waking up a bit late because I was just so sleepy. I think it's about 6:30, 6:45 now, so I better get a move on. Got about 20 miles to get to the coast. I'm just going to crack them first few miles out as fast as possible because it should be mostly plain sailing and just rolling hills. But it's when I turn back where all the hills will start. Right, out into that we go. Let's hope no more rain.
Day 3 of my bikepacking adventure around Galloway had a chill in the air this morning, so getting on the bike and pedalling to help warm up was much needed. But just like yesterday, it was another beautiful morning with the low mist and sun rising up behind me as I made my way towards the coast. I cycled around Black Loch with Castle Kennedy, a mansion house built in 1607. After a very peaceful pedal around here, I was going to make my way down to the coast. Well, I say the coast, but first I would make my way alongside Loch Ryan. This massive sea loch stretches about 8 miles long and 3 miles wide, providing a natural sheltered anchorage in southwest Scotland. It's the main gateway between Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Where I am right now is pretty much where I wanted to camp last night, which is where I wanted to get to at least, because I mean, these views, imagine this camp spot, it's even like a perfect little bit of ground there as well. With these views, you can see Northern Ireland just in the distance, you can see another part of Scotland in the distance over there, and a very interesting looking rock which I have no idea what it is, but it looks pretty cool. I am coming up. I'm pretty thirsty right now. I've run out of water. I haven't really seen any streams, but I'm pretty close to where I'm going to stock up on some supplies. It's called Ballantrae. I have no idea if that's how it's pronounced, but it's probably not. No idea. But I'm probably about 5 or 6 miles from there. I'm going to stop off and grab some supplies and everything, because after there isn't much in the way of places to restock until, well, probably a good maybe 100 miles. Maybe it's like after the big climb, then there's like one more climb, and then there's the next shop. So I don't know, but we'll make sure I stock up there. But I mean, look at it up here. It's beautiful, and we're dry, and we get to go downhill now.
I made it down off the cliff tops down to Ballantrae to learn that interesting looking rock in the distance is none other than Ailsa Craig. Name Ailsa Craig, it's thought to derive from the Gaelic word meaning fairy rock. It rises steeply to an elevation of 1,114 feet, and its rock has been used to make curling stones. Formed from a volcanic plug from a long extinct volcano believed to be over 500 million years old.
What a lovely place. Don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a lovely, lovely place. So nice that it was not raining as well, so I was able to dry the tent, have some food, and honestly I could have sat there for days. I didn't really want to move because now I'm gonna head towards the highest point. Like I said, probably not gonna get there today, but it's basically 4, call them ramps, and then the big one. So I'm going to try and get over as many of them 4 climbs as possible. So it's basically all uphill for the next, I don't know, like 40, 50 miles. Should be fun. Currently the weather forecast is all good today. It says it's going to get very windy tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Now I gotta go up, up, up. First ramp is the smallest. Second, it gets a bit bigger. Third, gets a bit bigger. Fourth, gets a bit bigger. Fifth is the big one. Let's see how far we can get up these hills today.
Up to this point, my route around Galloway had been fairly straightforward, but now it was time to start getting to the harder, more remote, more rugged part of the adventure. It was time to climb. The gentle rolling hills and coastal paths were behind me now, and ahead lay some proper Scottish mountain terrain. I could see the hills rising in front of me, getting steeper and more challenging with each mile. This is where the real work would begin, and as I rised in elevation on the remote tracks, where I'd be completely on my own, or so I thought, I stumbled across a fairy village. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to make a wish, so I asked the fairies if they could please make all the hills ahead completely flat for the rest of my journey. I waited hopefully for a moment, listening to the wind through the trees, but apparently the fairies had other plans, because if anything, the hills seemed to get even steeper from that point on.
Well, 2 more to go, but the next one doesn't actually look too bad when I look at it a bit closer on the map. It's a bit of a steep slog to get onto it, but it doesn't go as high as the one I've just come over, and it's then flat on the top for a little bit, so you should be able to get a few easy-ish miles. But it is already 5 PM, just after 5 PM. Done about 60 miles so far today. I'm starting to think I am going to keep an eye out for somewhere to camp. I will definitely want to get over this next hill, and then possibly the next one as well. And that would put me down towards a place, well, a loch, what was it? Oh my god, I literally just read it, my mind is gone. Dune, think the idea is to try and get kind of close to there if possible, and hopefully be able to find somewhere to camp there. I don't know if there's anywhere to camp there, but I feel like that's the best bet. And then in the morning, get up nice and early, if I can force myself to wake up, and start the long old slog up to the highest point on this route, which I already know is gonna involve a bit of hiker bike, but hopefully it will be clear. I'll get some good views at the top, but for now I need to go find somewhere to camp, so let me get up this next hill and possibly the next one. My legs are seriously feeling it today.
With 2 climbs to go to reach the loch I wanted to camp at, I would have my work cut out for me. Time was running out fast, the nights were drawing in quicker each day, and these trails were getting increasingly slower to navigate. I was about to make my way through some seriously remote terrain, and there was nowhere around here that was good for pitching my tent. I had to get through this section. There was no choice. The light was fading with every minute that passed. This was about not getting caught out here in the dark with nowhere safe to stop. The clock was ticking, my legs were already tired from the day's riding, and ahead of me lay 2 brutal climbs through terrain that would test every ounce of energy I had left.
Oh my god. Now what? I've just been hiking since it must have been about 6 o'clock. It's currently 20 to 9. I've just come over a massive climb and then descended, most of which was hiking. And I've got pretty close to the bottom. And these trees obviously are blocking the path, and there's not a chance I'm hiking for 3 hours back now. No way, not in the dark. So I'm currently trying to find my way around the opposite side of this woodlands. Hopefully I can find a way to get back onto the path where I was meant to be, but oh my god, what a nightmare. So it looks like I'm going to be hiking into the night. And yeah, obviously nowhere to camp. I would just put my tent up, but there literally is nowhere to camp. It's just bog everywhere. So I have to get through all this in the dark. I'll see you in the morning, hopefully.
What happens next? Well, you'll have to wait for part 2 to find out how this night ends and whether I make it through what's shaping up to be one of the toughest challenges this adventure has thrown at me yet.